Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County.
And I got to play with your wand. It was great.
Definitely fun.
Oh, keep going. Yeah, no, dial up was a joke, dude. I'm not on a 56K modem.
I'm sorry. I just didn't think it was funny, so I thought you were being serious.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, we'll make some time for you to tell some jokes later, dude.
Oh, we ain't ready for that. All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to a new episode of Footage Foreplay. And we're here with Matt Hewitt, the director and I think writer of one of my new favorite movies titled Hoagie. We're just playing at another hole in the head. When is this playing, Russ? Do you know? The second week of December?
You would have put me. I'll find out.
No, we'll add it. Anyway, so welcome, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm just loving your background. I was seeing all your little physical media collector stuff you got there, like your Blu-rays, and you said you have VHS there. Yes,
robust,
are you
wall of sadness back there?
Not a wall of sadness. This is great. I'm a huge physical media collector, so that's like amazing to me. So, like, what did you like start? When did you start collecting, and do you collect just certain things?
Yeah, I guess like VHS tapes back when I was 11 or 12. I know my mom had a pretty big collection of VHS that she handed down to me as a kid. I had the Hellraiser 2-pack that had Hellraiser 1 and 2 and a nice. Those were some of the VHS tapes I remember, and then moved on to DVDs, Blu-rays, all that juicy stuff.
Yeah, do you get just like horror films, or are you like just stuff
No,
that you actually like?
Definitely not. All genres and eras, and I'm actually a film archivist.
Okay,
and so everything from classic American stuff to probably Hong Kong movies are where I really got super excited about movies for the first time.
Okay.
Discovering those when I was 13 or 14 kind of opened my eyes as to what you could do, what you could call a movie, what crazy shit you could get away with.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, some of those kung fu movies from like the 70s and stuff are just some of the wackiest shit ever, but it's so fun. Like, and they make it work too, to where you actually still care about what's going on. Much like Hoagie, I would say,
Yeah.
Once you kind of like it tells you that if you can successfully communicate that something happened in the movie, then that's good enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like convincing. It just needs to be like, oh, I think I understand what they're going for. So it probably taught us a really terrible lesson that we're still like suffering.
Dude, I bet he would love Dracula's Kung Fu Theater. This is this TV show that's kind of like it's kind of like a Joe Bob thing, but it's for Kung Fu movies, and it's hosted by a guy that's in character as Dracula the whole time, and it's like the bit is Dracula loves Kung Fu movies, and he has like a werewolf he holds hostage in his library that brings him the tapes and shit. It's great. It's on like Retro TV, I think, is the channel. But yeah, a weird side topic. That popped into my mind because not many people bring up old Kung Fu movies, so that's cool that you.
Well, it definitely is probably more like John Woo movies and stuff.
Okay, the more serious like Hong Kong action stuff.
Old Kung Fu movies also.
Evan, I gotta interject here. You are like punching down on Hong Kong cinema, and I don't know why. Like the Shaw Brothers. Like, just, I mean, we're a part of a found
down.
footage
I love
film
that
fest.
stuff. What do you mean?
Because, like, subgenre, you're like, oh, they're goofy and silly. And I'm like, I think the fun and the reason that they're being rediscovered now is because of all the, like, craft involved.
No, the ones I'm talking about are pretty silly. Like, and there's a lot of it that's intentional. There are some that aren't, but the ones I'm referencing specifically, like, the names are so crazy for these. I don't know if I can pull one right now, but
I decided to pull a blade out here and battle you on this because the topic, the reason that we're here talking to Matt and maybe the ghost of Ryan, who popped back in and maybe he's there, but Hoagie, like, and I'm already prepared to go to war with this because you've tapped into this subgenre of like one of the most underappreciated elements of like cinema, which is like puppetry and their like collaboration with humans. And there's a fine line. And I normally get riled up about fantasy film because I think Conan is a Western movie originally. And then, popular culture sees elements of it. And then, a new genre is born that's fantasy that is so far away from like the serious kind of very wide scope Conan Western. And then we get, the Barbarian Brothers, which is still cool, but very different. And I think you walk a fine line, and I'm going to use Ghoulies as a reference here. I know it's not the end all, but I feel like Ghoulies 1 has like horror and puppets, and it's like the puppets are played straight. They're goofy, you know what I mean? But it's Ghoulies 2 that started branding the like toilet, and then they go to college, and then we're like off a cliff already. And I love those movies. But there's something about the like, we're going to play this straight, and we're making something, and we're not winking. Even though the bad guy's a fucking stage magician on a pentagon. Like he's got a... So Hoagie and the fine line you walk here is so impressive to me. Like clearly y'all are winking, but the craft is not a joke. And I had to fight for Hong Kong stuff because when you come out here,
it's kind of exactly what I was saying though. Is that like the movies are so wacky, but they still work because there's so much like to latch
is a derogative term.
Okay, so let's get back to Matt. So Matt,
I'm wacky and I love myself.
Let's get back to Matt. We have a guest. So Matt, so this is I'll let them have their thing. So we love hoagies, so we just want to get into your head about the film and where it came from. But let's just start with that. So where did you come up with this, and how did this all begin?
Yeah, well, Ryan and I and a couple other friends, I mean, we grew up together. We've made movies for a long time, and we love, you get into murky territory when you start talking about things being so bad they're good. And if you watch enough movies, that line becomes very, permeable, and things like even things that are bad have qualities that you think are legitimately good. And then there's things like at a certain point, you just kind of accept anything. If it's really entertaining, then doesn't that mean it was good? And we watch a lot of terrible movies. They'd be terrible to most people at least, and sometimes they are to us. And we definitely, we usually refer to them as turds. And we dig through the dregs looking for the little nuggets in there. And over the pandemic, we started to do a lot of remote watching where we, line something up and we'd Zoom together and watch. And we just kind of became really obsessed with the little bastard type movies. And not just the horror ones like Ghoulies and stuff, but the ones that I think are equally horrifying are kind of the Charles Band kids movies. And like Munchie was probably the one we went back to the most, where he is so repulsive. He's like, and he's always kind of like doing all these finger movements. He can't stop. And he's supposed to be this sweet little guy that Dom DeLuise is voicing, but he's like really just grotesque looking. And we love that. And we're kind of thinking the more of these we watched, we had all this hubris. We were super wrong in the end, but we're like, we could make a little bastard like that. We could do it. We could do our own Munchie. And that just became like a really fun thing where we could sort of just hang out in the garage. We'd be in the garage alone, slaving away over these weird little puppets we were making. And then we kind of realized early on, we don't have the skills to like the technicians making those things. Like not only are they artists, of course, but they're chemists. Like all these practical effects guys are chemists, and they're baking foam latex in their oven, and they're making these like incredible things. They just have so much skill. Even like the bottom tier, gross little puppet guy you see in whatever throwaway B movie is still like light years ahead of what we could have accomplished. So we ended up with this little pile of shit, and we're kind of like, well, we can still do something funny with this. We were always planning on leaning into how like absurd it was anyways. We'll just have to lean in twice as hard. But the affection for the genre is genuine. And so we're walking this fine line where we're definitely like you guys mentioned, we're winking. We know how ridiculous it is. The movie cost so little money, but it was made with like a lot of love, and we really wanted it to be just like to deliver the goods, to give, to not, to be, I mean, we made the movie for us, And so we wouldn't rip ourselves off. We just want to watch something totally juicy and fun that keeps upping the ante. And so that's basically what we attempted to do. But it was inspired by, kind of like Munchie. And then a lot of times I say Munchie meets like Deadbeat at Dawn, like a Jim Van Bever type thing, like super low budget, super gritty, grimy.
I've never seen a Munchie.
Consider yourself.
You probably know that
lucky.
cover.
Munchies is like, it's the only franchise I can think of that goes from a plural to a singular instead of the other. That's how unambitious the Munchie franchise is.
Oh wait, it's backward. Like so, Munchies
I thought
is
the other
first
one was part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I did too.
Oh, that's funny.
They also have nothing in common though, so they might not even really be related. One's like this.
One's just a Munchie, one's a Munchies. Okay.
Yeah.
That one's got a Chuck E. Cheese vibe, and one doesn't.
So who made
Munchie basically has these like action.
who made
figures.
Hoagie then? Y'all didn't create that creature? I mean, y'all didn't make it
Hoagie
yourself?
is like basically a handful of puppets that have been like sliced up and repurposed and slathered with lots of liquid latex and crafted with a lot of toilet paper and liquid latex and a lot of grease paint and a lot of Prozaid. He's got like sloth parts. He's got the eyes from other puppets. So he's like a total mutant. And we had like our hero Hoagie, and then we had a crappier looking one, and then we had one that we just kind of bash into things and stuff.
Look at him. Where is he now? Do you have him like in a display case?
Yeah. He's
Where is
in
he?
my garage in a Tupperware, and he already stinks. He's liquid latex really like starts to decay in a funky way.
Plus, if he's shut up in a Tupperware container, all that diarrhea is probably built up by now.
Yeah,
So
he's just blasting feces everywhere.
Dude, beautiful.
It is.
Dude, the
I loved it.
cinematography in here.
And his voice? Who voices him?
So I'm Hoagie, but I'm like
you Hoagie?
pitch shifted. And
Oh my God!
if you have a question
That's
about
Hoagie.
who
Sorry.
did what and you're unsure, it's probably me or Ryan.
Aw. Sorry to cut you off, Russ. You were saying something, but I didn't know he was talking the voice.
No, my little tirade in the beginning about, like, obviously we're all genre fans, and a lot of it on its face could be considered like very unserious or like childlike, right? Like, and it's funny up top when we were talking about your collection. Clearly, we're all still buying Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see you with it, it kind of lends like street cred to you.
Yeah.
And it's funny to just have you kind of, I don't know, it's almost like baggage. Like you're like not proud of it. At least that's the way you're presenting. Which, when I met Terrell, the brief
Oh, this is what I was
backstory.
going to say earlier, but I was going to wait. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, like it was in a job interview, and I talked about writing for horror movies, and he had a collection that he was embarrassed to show me. He had Blu-ray stacked to the ceiling, and I was like, "Oh, send me a picture," and he was like, "No,
They're everywhere.
like, it's embarrassing." Yeah, but then now look, a little bit of motivation, and now you just don't give a shit.
Nope.
Nope.
Period. Yeah, no, because when he said he was like embarrassed by it, I was like, no, I used to be that way. But now it's like I don't know. I have a nice collection. I'm a completist. So if I get one, I gotta have them all.
At a certain point, I had to take all the DVDs and slice them a little bit and put them into slim cases, all the covers. So the DVDs are like actually twice as many DVDs that are on the shelf.
Oh, wow, okay.
I had to like get some of this in order.
Yeah.
You got
DVDs are coming back though. Like now people are looking for them. Like physical media is in a weird spot, and I think it will only be evolving. Like I'm sure you guys have seen all the articles written about the shelf life of a Blu-ray and like disc rot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all are trying to scare me. Like I know,
I didn't
but
know that was a thing.
yeah, like they're saying it's like it's not as permanent as you think it is. I think a little bit of that is like cable 2.0 trying to fight back on our collection.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to get you to go
I
stream
definitely I
shit.
think part of that's bullshit. But
Yeah, so fuck them. But Matt, I think you having a library is, it shows in your movie because you're kind of like playing in the mud in this like no man land movies made for children. Like what's the like most impressive venture with like a shared spotlight with a puppet, it's probably like Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
And that's like little kid movie.
This one's not little kids. Don't take your kids to see this.
No, and I again, my tirade was kind of based in like defending the craft here, and I'm kind of shocked you said that this didn't cost you anything.
Oh, it looks like it did.
It cost Ryan and I like a combined $10,000. That's like,
dude,
and that some of that was like plane tickets for friends who we really wanted to be in the movie, but I had to, we had to fly them out and stuff. Most of the money you're seeing on screen is liquid latex and corn syrup, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, so we play in a world where we're talking to indie horror people all the time, and that's usually the money pit. Is the liquid like you have your production cost, you have your Airbnb, you have everything, and then it's like how much is left, because we know the money pit is going to be special effects. Yet your movie, dude, it feels like you have production value at every turn. Not to mention like how it's shot, like everything. Yeah, so are you guys like crafty? Didn't you have squibs in your movie too?
Oh, there's squibs out the ass. It felt
squibs.
like
yeah. We kind of referred to them as sort of like Planet Terror squibs, where those are like compressed air cannons that we built out of big PVC guys, and you fill them up with. We're filling them up with like pumps for like when you get a flat, and then you kind of have a twist valve that'll blast all that. And we had big old tubes that we created that were connected to that we'd run up a person. And we realized pretty quick that like just straight up corn syrup, your traditional corn syrup, water, food coloring mixture, that blood with all that compressed air would disappear. It would be off frame in like 2 frames.
Yeah.
And so then we started using a lot of lube. We had like powdered lube that is pretty much like veterinarian clinics probably use.
Terrell wrote that down.
No, I never heard of that.
Give birth and stuff. So we had all this J lube, which is like powdered lubricant, and we'd mix it where it would be very, very viscous mixture. So the blood was just like goop, but it was great because if you have the PSI at the right level, the blood would kind of hang in the air in a fun way. It wouldn't, and it would goop back down. Like
would
you
shoot out so quick.
And then it would come splatting back down, and we'd put a bunch of little fleshy bits that it could blast off. So the squibs are pretty fun. They're not like, I don't think we could really accomplish the classic like badass, dangerous condom with an explosive style squib anyways. I love those. They have a different quality. But in the case of Hoagie, I think those really absurd, goopy squibs work nicely because the whole thing is like so absurd,
They worked fantastic. They looked like you had money. Like you were just like, the vibe I got from this, how whenever you watch a movie and it's like, oh, this movie's been made for 10 years and it was from a trust fund baby who decided I'm going to make, like, it had one of those vibes, which is only a compliment. Because to hear that you made that for 10 grand, how? Like, I don't understand.
I know, you were blowing off booty holes and stuff. Like, how did this happen? Like, how did you, like, there's a lot of shenanigans that's going on that's like, oh, wow, that's all you... Yeah, okay, you're very crafty then.
It was like, it certainly took a long time. Ryan and I both have, I've got a job, a wife, a daughter. He's got, the same situation. He's got a couple kids.
You're all busy.
We have very little, time to get away. And so trying to balance the thing we're super passionate about and have done forever, it naturally gets harder and harder as time goes on, and it's gotten very, very tricky, and it definitely takes a toll on your personal life and everything.
Yeah,
but we spent a lot of time dicking around in the garage, and like I said, we've been making goofy movies that I would be embarrassed for anyone to see, but for a long time. And it's like we cut our teeth doing stuff like that, where a lot of the gags are like, oh, let's do the head smash like we did in such and such. We'll do one of those. Let's do this like we did in that. And so we've kind of been playing around with a lot of these gore gags. Like the gore stuff was much easier than working with the puppet. Like when we shot the first Hoagie stuff, we kind of had to go back and like for the hero head, we had to build out like we call it like a skirt, like we had to build out his chest way more. Part of the reason the movie is shot scope is because the puppet's such a piece of shit, and it's just so hard. It's so hard to like hide it anywhere that we're like, we got to rethink the aspect ratio, because otherwise he's going to be down in the corner of the frame all the time, and it's just going to look ridiculous. And so we adopted the scope really early. It's not like we shot the movie one way and then just in post flipped it, but we did kind of early on go like, that's not going to work out. Yeah, he sucked. He was a diva.
I love it. I like
the door
Hoagie.
stuff is like much easier, you know.
So these characters you created too, are these like reminiscent of like people you know, or did any of these characters take on your? Because these are some characters, like the bald-headed guy with the bunt cake. And
Pork chop spoke to me.
Oh
yeah,
awesome.
Because
there's a lot.
I used to work with a guy who I called pork chop. I mean, in this case, it was a derogatory term. I fucking hated that guy, but it was just cool to see a character named Pork Chop.
Yes, I mean the characters. Ryan and I both just have running lists of anything that kind of tickles our fancy, something we see in life. Like there's a line in the movie that we've used in every movie where we used to live in. I met my wife in San Francisco, going to San Francisco State.
Oh, nice!
And,
we are.
And Ryan also went to SF State, and we lived in SF with a bunch of our friends who are in Hoagie. And Katie was on the Muni one time. That's my wife. And there's this real, grimy street guy that we would call Old Salty, because he'd pop up in like your day-to-day stories, like, oh, I saw Old Salty doing this today or whatever. And he was berating people on the bus, and he told someone, kiss my ass and I'll lay a little dookie in there for you. And
Damn.
That was just like such an awesome bit of like poetry that line makes it in pretty much any creative work that we do. So that's just an example of like, the kind of stuff that just floats in our orbit. We consume it, we keep track of it. And
you had
the crazy characters, a lot of that is we try and kind of come up with characters that really suited our friends. At least on some level. So like our friend Stephen Heath, who plays the bad guy, Benny, he's a wonderful person. He's not a psychotic fascist militia leader, but he does like fitness stuff, or like he keeps up on these kind of things. And so like he could take that, make fun of it, and feed it into his character. And it would get him excited about his character, that he could be kind of this like, snake oil salesman selling his like protein powders or whatever, like some, far right, podcast personality.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like he had his fingers on the pulse of enough that he could make fun of it and make it his own. Or Trisha, the character that
my favorite. Yeah. Loved her.
Yep. That's our friend.
Which
Lene
one was
Day.
Trisha?
She's kind of like the shopkeep that if she were in Gremlins, old guy that gives the Mogwai to the.
She's probably my favorite too, Russ. Yeah,
she
I
was
loved her.
Crazy. I like. Is that the one with the guy said that quote I sent to you, Russ, that took me out? The one where he was like, "You have the IQ of a salad bar" or something like that. That had me dying. I don't know. You wrote some crazy stuff. I was over here cracking up. The IQ of a salad bar. I'm using that in everyday life. Some people do have that. Yes, I'm using it. So consider that kept.
She had like Napoleon Dynamite energy, sort of, with the way she She
She's
delivered her stuff, and I loved it.
She was great. She's probably the star of that movie.
She had so much experience with just, customers that would be these, I guess now they'd almost be like Make America Healthy Again type people. But probably when we were making the movie, it would be more like a goop type person, a person who's like all like some influencer type, Yeah. She had so much experience like serving like actual customers like that or interacting with people like that she could be this hilarious character that sort of tapped in and made fun of that stuff. And naturally she ad-libbed a ton of that, or didn't ad-lib it, but we'd send her a draft and then she'd make it way funnier by adding a lot of juicy stuff to it. And it was like that for everyone. You know, we tried to tap into that.
When she says, I can't sell. I'm not supposed to sell that. It's not for sale. But if you were to drop some money on the floor, I could go take a gnarly shit.
She winks. She winks over there. Yeah, this
100%
was great.
Lene's line right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Has she been in anything else, or she's just a friend of yours?
She's been in some other, real low budget type stuff, and she's just very creative. She's an artist. We're just sort of a conduit for funny weirdos like in our life, and we like to try and get them in our movies and just have fun with them,
Yeah.
Her character, again, I mean it, she was my favorite. And if somebody was pitching me a movie or a script and she was on paper, I would have argued to remove her.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that should work. And then I'm sitting there and I was laughing out loud. I'm not and it's funny that Evan draws the line to Napoleon Dynamite, because that's a movie that I am not a huge fan of.
Yeah, me neither.
But you're right.
I love it. It's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, I mean, we shot her first scene, and she didn't have another scene in the film really, or if she did, it was super thin. But after we shot that, we're like, that's so funny that like we gotta get her in the movie as much as possible. Like we gotta make her the main character somehow. We blew it by not doing that, but we basically like wove her into the movie and made her character a lot more robust because it was so funny.
Hold on, Brendan Bean deserved to be the protagonist.
Yeah, I don't think you needed Mr. Bean. No, 1,000%.
Now, Brendan Bean, one time I was at a playground with my daughter, and this little boy walked up, and he said,
he did this? He did this thing?
He didn't do that.
Because let me tell you, I've been doing this since I watched the movie. Didn't I, Russ? All my emojis are this. What is the next this? And then like this.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, I told you I'm obsessed.
Ask Russell. Did say, he's like, my name's Brendan Bean. Do you want to play? And I was like, Brendan, is that like really this?
That's a real name.
And I made like a mental. I think I must have like texted myself or something.
That's
like,
great.
Remember that, because that's a great name.
Brendan, very innocent name.
Yes.
You were talking about the improv angle. How much of the movie would you say was scripted versus improv? Because it feels like you riffed a lot here.
It actually, like, when I said improv, I probably meant more like a draft, like you'd shoot the draft over to whoever, and then they
they write add stuff.
If you actually looked at the script, probably like 80% is on the page, but it's stuff where like it definitely got beefed up by the performers prior.
Got it.
Okay.
Some of the funniest lines, though, I think are improv. Like when Benny says how he has a gift card to Claim Jumpers and stuff like that. Like I think we were just joking around. Like most of the lines that are more just like action movie bullshit towards the end.
Yeah.
Those were kind of just, I have a funny. Someone would shout out something funny,
Okay, that's interesting. It does feel like it had like there were good writers in a writer's room riffing and like adding to like layering bits and stuff. And there's a lot. I don't know. There's just a lot of layers to this movie, and I didn't expect that going into it. I figured it. I expected something more one dimensional. It's definitely not that at all. It's got a lot going on, and like
I'm glad that
characters
you guys
to
felt
attach
that
to.
way, because we really, that was important to us, that it has like a lot of replay value and has a lot of fun juice.
What were your
definitely's got that.
It has lots of
there's
juice.
juice in metaphorical and literal senses. Well, while I'm on the comedy, I got to ask too, what were your like growing up? What were your like influences comedically? And I don't necessarily mean even like specific movies that influenced this one as much as what influenced your sense of humor,
Like I've always found making fun of stuff with my friends or family was always funnier than watching things that were scripted to be funny. So watching like a comedy film wasn't necessarily that funny to me, but watching like a really bad movie always kind of brought me more joy. But, you know, there's obviously some classics. I don't think you see their DNA in Hoagie that much, but growing up watching stuff like the classic Sandler, Farley movies, Spinal Tap, I think is probably the funniest.
That's a comedy?
Yeah.
But you don't.
Okay.
I don't think you see
That
much
makes sense. That makes because I would have said for some reason I would have said like Abbott and Costello because there's a lot of physical humor in this, but there is with Sandler and Farley too, so that makes a lot of sense.
You know, definitely some of that sort of physical stuff is probably in the same world as like Sam Raimi stuff. You know, we like that for early Raimi stuff. I think Ryan, that's a question he could have answered a lot better because he definitely is more. Ryan, the script writing process for this, most of the like the story, I would say I kind of came up with like the narrative, and then the bad guy stuff, those scenes, I pretty much wrote those scenes. Anything with Benny, anything with the malevolent stuff. But most of the Brendan Bean stuff, like I said, usually we'd have the characters have a lot of input, have the actors have input. And so a lot of the Brendan Bean family stuff, which is where so much of the comedy is, that's like Ryan.
Okay.
So.
Well, since we're talking about like the craft and the DNA, part of my projecting on you as a filmmaker, having watched your movie, was that you were a big genre fan simply because of the way that you treated the world. And hearing you make the decision to do it in scope because of Hoagie is funny because your film feels it's a very natural frame for this world. And it's because you treat it like, you know, I mentioned Ghoulies earlier. That's a very small film. Like we're indoors a lot and everything's kind of tight and we don't, like, your film feels all encompassing. Like a thing that we can't get away from on this show is astral projection. And you don't go that far, but there's a lot of like spiritual angles and a lot of metaphorical filming going on. Like on your IMDb, I pulled this one back up again because I think this does the heavy lifting for what I'm trying to describe, which is you got like a Bava Italian, we're playing with color, but there's depth of film with the fog, and then the set design. Like, was this your home that you shot in?
I'll explain this real fast. You mind if I turn a light on? I'm starting to disappear.
Oh yeah,
it's
go
getting
for dark. This daylight savings.
Yeah.
There we go. Clock it.
Oh wow.
Look at that. That room is big. You got a big house. Are you rich?
I'm not rich.
You watch from across the street.
We definitely don't live in San Francisco, though. That's a big part of it. Yeah.
That's a big old room. Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually located it's a shop at a date ranch that our friends ran at the time, sort of like a family business. And so the shop already was like really cluttered in a fun, cool way. But then we dressed a bunch of this stuff, which like I almost hesitate to point out because it's like we don't have the rights to putting like there's a Howling 2 tape up there. There's a portrait of Robert Davi for some reason. There's a bunch of like weird shit that we just like Ryan and I have that we thought, oh, this will be funny. So like we did dress this location, but it also had a ton of like fun stuff. And then that kind of Bava-esque lighting you mentioned, I mean, that's just backlighting something with smoke. And it's just like a cool, easy way to do a lot of the heavy lifting of making something look rad. That's like all the supernatural stuff in the movie has that kind of red, green look to it. It's just like a classic.
But see, that's what I'm trying to peel away at is that a lot of people, and especially after like House of the Devil came out and everybody's like, independent filmmaking's back, giallo became very popular. And then people would just throw gels on everything. And it's like, there's no intention behind it. But here we're like, so first off, I had no idea that was a real shop. It had a vibe of like a house that was pretending to be a storefront, which felt very like indie horror, but learning that it's an actual shop is even cooler because I love going into those places.
It is a weird shop, you know. It's definitely like a bizarre ragtag kind of feel to it.
Well, and then, your genre love comes through here because clearly we're channeling Alien.
Definitely. Like, yeah, when we talked about this, and particularly there's like, I don't even know if we illustrated it very well in the movie, but if you see behind the scenes, like pictures, the egg, when the ultimate Hoagie egg kind of opens, it even has that sliced, the quadrant kind of thing of the
that's how it opens
egg.
for the xenomorph. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like the classic.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of this lighting scheme is actually like, I really love, again, I'll throw out movies that I love. I'm not in any way saying anything about Hoagie is worthy of these.
Oh, shut up.
Hoagie's I love Hoagie. I need a Blu-ray collector's edition box set.
Yeah. I love like Robbie Mueller is one of my favorite DPs, and he shot, Repo Man, Paris, Texas, and To Live and Die in LA. And those movies, like not the whole movies, but there's a lot of the red, green, and it's just like a really cool look that he achieves. And we only really went for that in the super stylized parts of the movie. The rest of the movie, so much of it is shot outdoors that it's not super stylized. But the parts, we just sort of try to compensate by making those parts super gruesome and fun. Yeah.
You're wild. Okay, I am going to ask you about your camera too, but just talking about the outdoor stuff being not as intentional or stylish, you have one of my favorite drone shots I've seen. I'm assuming it was a drone, but when we have like the spiritual awakening out on a cliff and we have the drone kind of pulling over. Oh yeah. It's hard to get any kind of feeling out of drone footage. Like they always just read very upfront drone. And I don't like, just because we're living in the era we are, it's just immediately unimpressive. Yeah. And so it's usually.
You mean the part where Benny is like naked on?
Yeah.
Okay. So that actually wasn't a drone, that part.
That's like
that's like a Ronin rig, kind of a Steadicam thing where I was just running towards him, as anyone would do if you saw this guy.
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah. And that's what I was saying. There's never any like, it always feels like you're looking at an echo of The Shining or something. Whenever you have that kind of top, everybody loves that.
Yeah. And you mentioned also like even things feeling claustrophobic. It's frustrating to me, not in Hoagie, but in other movies. That's one of the things we really didn't want to do. I kind of hate that you'll go see a movie like, it can be a huge movie, a horror movie. Go see like a movie like Smile 2 or something. Yeah. Like a really big budget movie that's super stylized. And it still feels like a really low budget movie because you never leave more than, you're in two locations the whole movie or whatever. And I just feel that's just try and get out, go somewhere else. I'm tired of looking at the same places. Even if your movie is super duper cheap, just filming it in different locations, I think goes a long way to feeling less boring and less claustrophobic. And drone shots are kind of in that same toolbox of like, they've gotten really boring. And Hoagie does use a handful of them. But for the most part, like when you have those opening shots, like of a movie and they're a drone shot versus a helicopter shot from like, you watch a movie from the late 80s, early 90s, watch like
Candyman, the opening
or
with
Predator 2 or whatever. Shot. You have these helicopter shots, or a great example is Heat, where you see the helicopter shots in Heat and they look like Michael Mann helicopter shots. You feel like you're watching Heat. It feels like him. But most movies, if you see the helicopter shot, it feels like stock footage. It doesn't even feel like second unit. It doesn't feel like B-roll from that movie. No. It feels like they could have gone on Getty and just pulled stock footage. So like if you're going to do a drone shot, at least have a lot of stuff going on in the frame that is like unique to your movie. Don't just show a car driving through the woods like on a drone shot. It's so boring. Show like a mutant running around like squishing. So those
There's
are the
a
things
cool one.
Just like.
Did you ever see that movie, The Vast of Night, from a few, I don't know how many years ago now, probably like 5 or 6 years. It's a super low budget sci-fi movie about this radio reporter in the 50s who gets a call about weird shit going on at this farm from this lady, and you kind of
Is it
follow
aliens?
this girl the rest of the movie. Yeah, it's like a UFO, like an alien
I knew
type
it.
of movie.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Don't do anything.
And
Dude, Hoagie might be an alien. I know he's a
That's a
monk.
different alien. That's an alien I won't. I don't.
But there's a
That's what
cool
he's talking
drone
about.
shot where they go from one location of the movie to the other, and it makes this set transition or this location transition feel like so seamless and cool. Like people are talking in one scene, the drone flies away, you go like across so much shit, like a town, and you see people doing shit the whole time, and then you get to the other location and it never breaks, and those people are talking. Like there's definitely some cool shit. I see what you're saying that you could do with drones, and most people don't go to that. It's usually just, here's a car we flew a drone above for a second.
I mean,
you know,
with Hoagie, there's a drone shot at one point at Brendan's house when he's captured. And part of the thinking, aside from it just being like, oh, this is kind of a neat shot, is like to establish a little bit the geography, the layout of the property, because you're going to be watching so many people getting shot and killed there. It gets so hectic and you're going to kind of not understand what's going on. So I can appreciate it in that way too, just to frame a shot where people can make out where things are.
That's it's almost always utility, and you calling it like akin to B-roll but like Getty B-roll is perfect. Like you sum that up. It's just, we're so tuned in to know like, okay, here's an establishing shot, or like here's for mise en scène. Like we're gonna just like, this is almost like the vegetable before the dessert. Like we just need it. So it feels that way. You're kind of like, okay, yeah, we're looking at trees from a weird angle. Cool.
Yeah.
So you again, I hate bringing it up so much, but I can't believe you did this for $10,000. Did you own or rent a camera, and what did you shoot it on?
I'm almost embarrassed to say, if I knew anyone was going to be watching Hoagie, every few years we try and upgrade whatever camera we're working with. You know, this was on its last legs, but it's a Canon A7S II. It's a DSLR. We've used it for a long time. I've probably had it for like, I don't know, 6 years or more. And it's the sort of thing where, we're on the fence. We couldn't afford a new camera, and we really wanted to just like get moving with the movie, because just so much of it's just a drag, like watching your life go by and being like, dude, we haven't made a movie in so long, and it's like we keep trying to upgrade this or get to this level, and so we kind of just pulled the trigger, and we're like,
let's just do it.
What, who cares?
You hear that, Russ?
Make it what we have.
Shut up, Terrell. I think that's a problem that a particular type of person falls into. And then you look at all the people around you and like, they've never slowed down because they didn't have the proper equipment. Like that idiot. They're not smart enough to know that they shouldn't be making that. And then you're like, fuck, I'm not doing anything. So I completely, and dude, it's funny. I'm speaking for me and Terrell. We don't know enough about cameras to even understand why you would want to upgrade from that. And Evan, maybe.
Evan, you know? You did Florida Man with a camera.
Why you would want to upgrade? I don't know that specific model he has.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
again,
I
for people listening, I asked those kind of questions because so many filmmakers listen to the show. But I mean, what was the hang up? Did it not what were you looking for in an upgrade?
It's a perfectly good camera, but it's very much a consumer camera. I mean, a lot of it's being used for still photos, probably more than anything.
Okay.
It's definitely not a cinema camera at all.
Shoots 4K though, right?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have, over time, we've accumulated the different, pieces of our kit that all complement a little DSLR like that. So if we upgrade, even if we could scrounge together the money, getting a good camera and like good lenses, that would have been our entire 10K right there.
Right.
Yeah. Easy. Quick.
And then we wouldn't be able to use all of our little gadgets that we have,
So, okay, you use a practical approach to make an impractical movie, and you do a subgenre that honestly I think it will be super marketable. Like it has not been hard for me to get people excited about your film. Yet then you come out, and this is the one thing that I have to ask, because this is the weirdest choice to me. I mean, I understand why you would do it, But why do we have a 35 millimeter print of this movie?
That's a pretty fun gimmick.
Oh, that's what's screening.
So
yeah.
Well, yeah. So I work at a film archive, and I've always worked with film. Usually, like for a decade, I was at UCLA Film and TV Archive, doing a lot of hands-on film work. Now I'm a digital archivist, but my colleague who is in film preservation, he was the one who sort of had the idea of doing this, and almost as like, he's like, that'd be amazing if you had it on film. I'm like, that would be hilarious. Like, I love how funny that is. And he basically was able to do it much more affordably than if I went through like more legit channels. And he is able to give me a really, really good deal. And it was just such a dumb, crazy gimmick. And then I do know a lot of people in the world of film programming down here who do like repertory stuff. And I just thought like, well, if I had a print, that would be like a really fun, attractive bit of like ballyhoo to maybe get some of these programmers who are my friends and colleagues. Maybe they'd be willing to like play this thing locally down here in SoCal if I had a 35 millimeter print, because it's just so stupid and so crazy. And, that hasn't exactly happened. I do have like some things in the works. But regardless, however it pans out, I do think it's pretty awesome that we have this absurd thing.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, the print is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to have this thing that was shot digitally, and it's really funny because they at the film lab they took the print is scope also. So they took the thing, they blew it up. So you need a scope lens to properly watch it. But it's digital scope. So it's just like basically a matted image. It's not a legitimately shot scope or anything. So it's kind of just a hilarious thing, and I've seen the print. We had an opportunity to QC it, and there are some cool things about it. Like definitely clarity is going to be worse. Like it's worse than a 4K DCP. It's a little softer, but the colors are more robust. It has like a funner tactile quality. Sound definitely, is going to be worse than a DCP because we didn't do like a Dolby digital out or anything. It's actually, just an optical track. So there's some things that it's like a give and take, but it is really fun to see just actual dirt and shit on there. And there's some fun little details. Keep your eye out for things like the changeover queue. There's like a few special little things we did with the print.
Now, you mentioned it briefly, and this is probably my favorite. And honestly, I'm very impressed with the score. The music in this movie is hypnotic. Yeah. And I had assumed that when he was a musician and did it, but when I saw the credits, I'm like, how did that come together?
The score, aside from our friend Lene playing Trisha, I think the score is far and away the best part. Here's Digi Ryan again.
Is he gonna stick?
So
it's haunting, dude.
It is haunting. It's scary. He was sitting in one spot, not moving. Oh, he moved
A little bit.
It's like shifting. Okay, sorry.
The score is by my friend Aaron Olson, and he is a composer. He's a musician, and he's composed for some legitimate films. And hopefully he's gone again.
Tell that boy to stop. We're gonna give him another time.
I think he's a ghost in the machine now. He's just like Lawnmower Man or something.
That is so funny. You don't see that?
I hope he's not still there trying. I thought he made it that time.
Me too. But he was shifting kind of slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That quality, that internet, so, I don't know. It's plugged into some grass. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So Aaron's a great talent. He's a super talented composer. And he's done the score. He just did the score for Fuck My Son. Don't know.
Oh, what is that?
I want to see that.
I want to watch that.
Yeah.
So he's getting some work, and he's done music his whole life. He's in lots of great bands, and so that's why the score is so good. And
so even directionally, it's got like kind of like a Tangerine Dream vibe or something. Like it's very like spiritual and like 80. Like, did you give him direction on that, or was that all his?
He definitely knows that, I love Tangerine Dream and John Carpenter and stuff, but he also knows that those are like really played out, particularly in horror in the last like 15 years. And he's never going to give you exactly what you asked for because A, I think that would be pretty boring to him, and B, he just knows way better than I do. So like I'll ask for some really pedestrian thing like, oh, this needs to be intense, make it like this song. And then he'll give you something that's way more like complex and interesting. And so there's definitely some Tangerine Dream influence, some Carpenter, and there's some Goblin stuff. I would say that main Hoagie theme has a lot of
that's a favorite.
When the bass drops, it's very like Profondo Rosso kind of thing. And then also with all of Benny's stuff and the bad guys, the Promised Man, there's like Neil Young's Dead Man score is a little like has some really good guitar twanging, like distorted guitars. But he also, Aaron comes in with this fun like synth and kind of adds it to the mix. So he's got a lot of inspirations there that.
Key word though, like, and you mentioned it early on, like, I don't know if Tangerine Dream's been like kind of beaten to death, but this like echo of Carpenter, everybody fucking does that. And it like the stuff that Carpenter was making the music with at the time was analog. And I think there's just a misunderstanding there where when you have these like digital programs and you can do so much to the music, it almost feels like incorrect in like a Inception kind of way. Like from the very beginning, it's just a little different.
Yeah. That's true about Tangerine Dream also, where Tangerine Dream is obviously much more technically complicated music and requires a lot of musicianship. So like you're not going to see people ripping that off as much because you need a guy who can play guitar like he's in Pink Floyd or something. And it's not just synth, much less digi synth. So yeah, you don't see that as much, but
Goblin. But either way, when people try, they usually feel like they're trying. Where your score feels like influenced, like unique. I don't know. I was really taken aback by that. I'm like, this is some real serious, like, not only do I hope that Terrell's future is, his wish comes true and there's a nice box set of this movie.
Oh, I know.
There's going to be a vinyl.
Are you going to have like a Blu-ray for this? Because we
there is a Blu-ray. There will be a Blu-ray. A colleague of mine, and through the process of making the Blu-ray, more of a friend, he has a partner label. One of the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels is his little label. Normally, it's a focus on more experimental stuff, not so much genre horror stuff. But I'd met him and I invited him to the cast and crew screening of Hoagie, just thinking like as Letterboxd friends, thinking like he likes weird shit. I think he'll have a good time with this. And so he kind of reached out afterwards where he's like, basically he thought he could help me, put me in touch with someone. And he's like, barring that, I'd love to do it too, even though it's not really in my exact current kind of wheelhouse. So it's going to be really beautiful and it'll have, a slipcase and all that.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's going to have those nice slip covers from Vinegar Syndromes? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, so I can't wait. It's going to be all dolled up and everything. Hoagie, big old face going to be on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. I can't wait. Yeah. Valentine's Day gift to myself.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Can you mention the small label, or does he want it like not attached to it?
I think he's fine with it. Again, like it's not available in any way yet until I think it'll be pre-sale in early February. But his label's called Art Label.
Art Label. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many of the little partner labels with Vinegar Syndrome. When you go on their site, it seems like they have 40 of them or something. But
what about a vinyl?
I talked to Aaron about that, and I was trying to get him psyched on it, where my suggestion was that I couldn't really afford to pay. Like, unfortunately, I paid Aaron when I could. And part of the reason the movie's so cheap is crappy stuff like that. Like, I ran out of money, and I'm like, I I can't pay you the rest. I'll pay you when I can. So the budget of Hoagie might increase over time as I come into money and pay people back for what they did. But anyways, I told him like, maybe instead of payment, we can just, put out an album. I'll pay for the cost of that. And then any profit it makes, of course, like you get 100% of that or something. Okay. And he is kind of like, he's a very, very busy guy. And he's like, I don't know if I really want to deal with mastering everything for the vinyl right now. And so he's a swamped. Yeah.
Wait till he sees how excited people are about it.
I know.
It's a very strong soundtrack. Also,
I could see him doing one of those, the like marble presses they do of vinyls. You could do one like a diarrhea press.
Oh, yeah. Diarrhea would be perfect.
Diarrhea?
So sick. Yeah.
You can make like the vinyl a different color. So you do it like
he's talking about marble. He's talking about diarrhea.
Yeah, exactly. Piss, yellow, and diarrhea. That's exactly it.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, that's
marble.
Nasty.
Like the pattern on stone.
Marble.
Yeah.
I thought he said marble.
Not marble
like
Spider-Man.
comics.
Yeah.
No.
Got it.
Although Diarrhea Man is a huge character that you just don't know about, Terrell.
I never heard of Diarrhea Man, but I can only imagine. He fit right in with the Hoagie crew, period.
So, Aaron, did he play a character in the movie too?
He did.
Who was he?
Oh, my child's in the room.
Oh, hi.
Don't worry, happens to me a lot too, so we'll hide him.
Yeah. So he is in it. So around the midpoint of the movie, we kind of dive into a different genre that I don't know how many people can really hang with us. We haven't mentioned it, but we get that lame crew, the group of scientists. Mm-hmm. And so that's like a real long shot. It's not as I think most people can follow the little guy movie and certainly like the gory horror stuff they'll be on board with, but it goes in this long tangent with this group of scientists where we're kind of attempting to make fun of movies like Twister and Sphere and Species,
I like
Outbreak.
that one.
All these groups that have like a dorky group of scientists where, there'll be a guy who likes classic rock, wears tie-dye, so he's like eccentric. And there'll be this guy. It's just totally ridiculous and lame trope that we wanted to make fun of. And Aaron is the dude that is like the hacker who's got some ridiculous glasses. I think that whole part is the part where people are going to be least willing to hang with what we're doing. But hopefully, they're with it long enough that they get into the next crazy shit and they've forgotten about the lame group.
Hey, you know what? You made almost a 2-hour-long movie, and it didn't drag.
No.
So what more do you want? People are going to hang with it.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And if they're not, I think they'll be out by the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, you get a taste of it at the beginning, literally.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's the best character in Twister anyway, and all he is just furniture.
Oh my God,
dude! He's just a pothead
Twister
that jams
was
the
good.
music. I love Twister. I love it, but he didn't
I'm
age
not
well.
trashing those movies. I'm more trashing the concept. A Twister is extra ridiculous because it has two lame crews. The bad guy is a lame crew too.
Yeah, an even lamer crew. Yeah,
even lamer. Yeah. Species is one of my favorites because Forrest Whitaker plays the empath, and he's so useless. He walks in a room covered in viscera and blood, and he just goes, "Some bad happened here," and they're like, "Thanks, dude."
Dude, I love the impression how you even shut the eye a little bit. It was perfect.
It's amazing, but I love that. That's a primo lame crew right there.
Okay, now before we let you go, I have to ask. There was one point in the movie. It's funny. There's so many genre leaps or tonal shifts. They all feel natural, including a very lengthy montage, which kind of just flies by. It doesn't feel weird at all. The one shift that had me a little thrown off was without any spoilers.
Don't spoil it.
There's a tool that is utilized to execute someone.
No. Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, when our first surrogate family comes into contact with them, and we kind of take a hard horror turn.
Oh, I like
yeah.
that beginning because I felt like that could have been a whole short film to like tease
Yeah.
you, to get you into that whole first part. Because like, wait, oh, you know what happens to all of them, and then that could have been its own movie right there. Period.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I just, from like a marketing angle, I feel like Hoagie is very self-aware, and then we enter this kind of like bleak vignette, and it's like I didn't expect it from this movie.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Look
and
at
I'm
Hoagie.
like, whoa.
Look at him.
Like.
I think there's a couple things there. I think like firstly, we did want to like announce ourselves as saying anything goes.
Yeah.
Like,
you did
though,
that with that.
Like, I feel it's not uncommon now to see these genre movies that, and I'm in no way like talking trash about movies that do this, but you do, like you mentioned, like giallo homage type movies. You'll watch a movie and you're like, holy shit, this movie feels exactly like I'm watching this movie or this genre that they're aping or whatever. That's really impressive. That's an impressive like feat of but we didn't want to do that. We wanted to also like explore all of our own fun, goofy shit and give people a fun time that they haven't seen before. We didn't just want to recreate Munchie or Ghoulies.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. We wanted to like announce that we weren't fucking around. We're willing to do whatever and go in a crazy direction. I wanted to do like the Psycho type, like it's a spoiler, but I wanted to do the thing where like, you think you're hanging with this group of characters and it's not going to play that way just because that's a nice pulling the rug out from under people.
Yeah.
And then the third, probably most fucked up thing that Ryan and I talked about is there's going to be people who think this is really fucked up. We kind of think it's a little bit funny. We kind of think it's
You don't know what's funny? Oh my
but
land!
it's definitely fucked up.
It is pretty funny.
But it's also like funny. And like these are our friends and family like who are in these like, it's our own children a lot of the times who are in these weird scenarios. So part of it is like we probably don't think it's as like bleak and hardcore as I don't want, you guys are definitely not ordinary viewers.
No.
As whoever is watching Hoagie.
Mm-hmm.
But then a big part was just saying like anything goes, don't feel too safe.
Well, there's like a character. It changes Hoagie the character too,
Kind of makes him
because
malevolent.
everything you think is going to be like fun, and then that is kind of like
He
this.
is fun.
Well, the thing is, because it happens early on, it feels almost like a bad memory, and it always feels like at any time it might rear its head again, and it just. Yeah, it had like an edge to it. And I was just like, dude, like I didn't know where the movie was going to go after that. So you succeeded. And you kind of did what like male nudity used to mean.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
Well,
when
you know
saw
what?
like
It's kind of funny that this came up because I think it does a bit of what our last guest was talking about with mixing cosmic horror and humor, where it's sort of his sort of full motivation never being clear gives it this sort of cosmic quality where you don't know what kind of malevolent or non-malevolent entities are behind him, or you know what I mean, like what's overlording him to some degree. So
and we did want to make it like Hoagie's level of malevolence, it kind of depends on whose clutches he's in. So if like the first guy is kind of like this, he's a shitty dad. We already know that the bad guy Benny is going to be a particularly bad patriarch. He's got his like family of psychopaths, but Hoagie's like a good fun guy when he's hanging out with Brendan Bean, because Brendan Bean he's a fucking weirdo, but he's like a loving person who cares about him. So it's sort of about like being an empathetic good person versus like if you got a black heart, Hoagie's going to be this monstrous thing,
Yeah, a mean homunculus. And I have to say, I love that you call him a homunculus in this movie.
Really, we really get the word.
That's
out
a real
there
word?
lot, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's I say that because it's important. Just like all of these like puppet characters, the origin is usually pretty important, but it's usually kind of like shrugged off. And I feel like homunculus has a lot of baggage, so you can kind of understand where it
What's
came
the definition of a homunculus?
It's like a little creature, but if you want to go back to like its origin as like a kind of a medieval concept, is something that, could be created. Like,
Yeah,
Got it.
apparently
'Cause
through
I didn't know
alchemy,
Russ knew
huh?
that word.
Yeah.
That word came out of nowhere. Okay, nice.
I know that word because of D&D. Thank you very much.
That makes sense, honestly.
I just thought it was because you were older. But anyways,
okay.
we're gonna.
Those guys know about homunculi.
I know, dude.
All right, well, Matt, we love your movie, and we can't wait to
Awesome.
see it in 35 millimeter here in the Bay Area at Another Hole in the Head, which is
And
did you get
that's
that date
on
yet?
Sunday,
yes.
December
December
14th, at
14th is Sunday,
5:15.
yeah.
The 14th. Yeah.
Period.
So,
December 14th. So before you go, I wanted you to, say any socials or websites that you want people to go check and get updates on this movie, and or if you have any tea, some behind the scenes stuff that no one knows about that you want to leave with us, something funny, and before you go.
Yeah, we have an Instagram channel, Turkey Buzzard Films.
Okay.
So check that out. And man, there's so many juicy anecdotes. But let me see. I'm trying to rack my brain.
Well, while you think about it, is that a little cutout of Hoagie back there by
Yeah.
your door?
Yes,
Oh,
I
it
got
is?
You gotta
Yes.
grab that.
I'll bring them close for you.
Please do. I've been
Look
staring at it the
Russell.
whole
Why do you
damn
keep staring
time.
at his room?
Look at that.
Look how far away he got to walk. That's what I'm saying. That's a big room.
Oh, dude, look at
Oh,
that.
my
Don't even have the. Oh, that's
God.
fucking tight.
Look at Hoagie. Evan, you need that in the background of your little
Yeah, that's
shed.
tight, man. That'd be great in the shed.
Dude.
Yeah, I looked up that standee. Again, maybe just wishful thinking. I don't know what's happening with Hoagie, but I figured, he can at least keep me company.
And that one don't stank.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have any real wonderful anecdotes that are popping out of my brain, but the Blu-ray should have a fun making of, and it has a commentary for you guys to learn all the juicy details.
Well, Matt,
Okay,
you
well,
got to
that's
bring
fine.
that
Oh, yeah.
Hoagie out when you do the screening.
I'll bring it up. Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
cool. I gotta get a picture with it. We gotta get a trophy. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we've debated, do we bring out the real Hoagie at some point? But
Yep.
we're aside from stinking, we kind of don't want people to see how the sausage is made. You see them up close
Got it.
without the
All right,
light.
we've seen how Evan's sausage is made. It ain't pretty.
No.
All right. Well, that was it for
All
this week's Footage Foreplay. Matt, you're awesome. I love your movie, and I can't wait to get that on Blu-ray.
So glad.
I appreciate you joining us. And until next time.
Great talking to you guys. Catch you
Enjoyed
later.
hanging
you.
with you, man.
Yeah, Matt,
I'm
love
sure
you,
Ryan
brother.
says thank you too. He's trapped in the.
Yeah, he trapped in the
What's up, man?
interwebs.
Thanks for listening to Footage Foreplay. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review, sharing it with a friend, or simply hitting like. These small gestures are a great free way to support this mayhem, and if you find some footage we should be fondling, email us at footageforeplay@gmail.com. Check back every Tuesday and Thursday for new episodes, and remember, don't skip the foreplay.